Good evening, everyone. This is Anish, and I'm here on behalf of the National Law Training Institute. Today, we have among us Gargi, who was a CLAD 2022 topper, and we have also have Vrish Vardhan, who scored an All India rank of 36 in AILET 2023. He is one of our top rankers of NLTI, and we are really proud of him. So, Vrish, this session is exclusively devoted to your experience with NLTI and your experience of preparing with Gargi as your mentor, and how was the journey? How did you prepare for AILET, and how was NLTI able to help you throughout your CLAT and AILET journey? Do you want to shed some light on that?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I remember being in a session with Gargi, like, I don't know, in November, like early November, I guess. And that's when I asked her, like, AILET is in a month. Like, what am I supposed to do about AILET now? So, because I was not aware of, let's say, the specificality of AILET in general. So I asked her, and yeah, after that, I was like, okay, it's another exam, and yeah, I should give kind of equal focus to it. Although I was not pretty sure about AILET in general, but Gagi was kind of emphasized on the importance of AILET as well, which actually prompted me to give and devote some hours to it in general. So yeah, I mean, thanks to her, I guess.
Right. Gargi, you wanna take over? I want you to do the most of the talking here because you are the one who know Vrish inside out, and you know what his journey has been throughout, like AILET and CLAD, and what his experience with NLTI has been. So you wanna take forward? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, especially when we had our sessions, a lot of times, like, these guys were like aspirants who knew their stuff, right? Like, it wasn't like they were completely unaware. So, but it's like a lot of times these exams, especially with A-Late, I think they keep surprising you, right? So, it's sort of
Yeah.
Yeah.
difficult to even gauge what they're gonna ask. So, I think one of my first discussions with Rish about AILET was on this basis, right? Like you had to pick and choose your answers. So, Rish, like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like when you were attempting that paper, what do you think was your strategy that like sort of helped you, solve the paper in time and do well in it?
Yeah, like as you said, na, ki first of all, it's full of surprises, and it was like the biggest surprise I ever got in my life. And when I went through the paper, it was like, okay, this is the thing. It has completely changed the pattern, revamped the pattern, and now, okay, I'm in a state of panic. But yeah, as you kind of constantly emphasize, like you need to be calm throughout the paper, kind of, as you were in your club paper. So yeah, I kind of prioritize that, like, okay, whatever happens happened has happened, and you need to stay calm throughout the paper. You need to regain your consciousness. You need to be, okay, this is the paper, I have to solve it, I can't do anything about it. So yeah, and the other thing which you pointed out was that you should know which questions to leave. That's the thing in AILET.
Yeah.
That's the thing different in AILET from CLAD. So what happened previously in mocks, in AILET mocks, I usually used to try and attempt like whatever question I got through, which made me stuck, at a lot of different questions, and which took my time. So that's what I did not do in AILET 2023. I just got a question. If I saw, okay, at first glance in like 5 seconds, if I'm not able to solve it or kind of get, gist of it, I just left it. Just left it, keep going on. Okay, like if I do get time, I would get, I'll get back to it and see if I can try to solve it or not. So I can, AILET is all about time management. As you said, it's you have to manage your time. You have to do the most questions in the limited amount of time as possible. And yeah, I think that's something we should all keep in mind while giving a paper such as AILET.
Yeah, and like I'm sorry I should have asked this first, but like when you got your result, I'm sure after the paper it was really surprising, right? So like the paper in general was like there was shift of pattern and all that. So when you got your result or when you checked the answer key, what was your reaction like? Like was it did you expect to get like such a good rank or such a good score in general? And how was that feeling?
Um, yeah, like when I got out of my center after giving the exam, I noticed 3 to 4 people just crying right off the bat, and then I realized, okay, it's my my paper is not the only one that has gone like awfully wrong here. Several other people are experiencing the same thing, and they're experiencing it way worse than me. So yeah, I kind of got calm during that point because like okay, people have done mistakes in this paper, and as I have done as well. So during the results, I was not kind of keen. Like I didn't expect anything at all. I didn't even check the OMR. I didn't check anything, even though Anish kind of yeah repeatedly messaged me every day and every hour to check the paper. I didn't, but yeah, when the results did come, it was yeah, it was a kind of shock to be honest. I didn't expect anything at all from it. So yeah, it
So
was
you
pretty
had no
nice.
idea what you are scoring in AILET, and it was just AIR 36 that you saw for the first time.
Yeah, can you repeat that, Anish?
Oh, am I not audible?
No, your voice is kind of I don't know lagging here.
Gargi, you should take it this forward. I think
Yeah,
my internet connection is
yeah,
not stable. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, he was asking that, when you saw the result, as you said that you were not expecting anything, so you just saw AI 36 and you were like, so what was that feeling like?
That was an amazing feeling. I remember being out of the house at that time. I was just, after CLAT, I was not feeling good at all. So I was like, okay, let's go and get some fresh air. And yeah, I think I was in the middle of the road or something while I got my result, and I just stopped for like 10 minutes in the middle of the road. I was like, okay, what, like, okay. So, yeah, just went over to the sidewalk. My cousin was with me at that time. Yeah, we both kind of shouted at the top of our lungs for like a minute straight. Uh, and that was it, I guess. And we just stood there for some time. I think that's what things does to you when it's the most unexpected thing ever. I didn't
Yeah.
expect anything out of it at all. So welcome surprise.
Yeah. So, like, I'm pretty sure, like, unlike us, for example, like, most of us, so when we gave our exams, we usually, so COVID pandemic was going on, so school wasn't really as much of a priority as I think it was in your cases, right? So, what was your strategy in a sense, like, how did you make that balance between school and CLAT and AILET?
Yeah, regarding this, CLAT, it was something, yeah, I was primarily focused on CLAT in general. But yeah, when you specify that maybe I should give a couple of, hours to AILET as well, I kind of started, okay, I need to give like 1 or 2 hours to AILET as well now. So it was kind of tough at the beginning because it's when you are like focused on one particular exam, it's kind of difficult to focus on another at the same time as well. But what helped me was that the syllabus was kind of the same, although the only thing that was different in AILET was the analytical reasoning part. So I mean, yeah, it took me some time to get hold of the analytical reasoning part, even though I started in the last 15 days to AILET. So yeah, I mean, don't do that, guys. If you're watching this, kind of start early if you want to crack it. But yeah, it turned out to be a reading-based paper, which was one of my strengths. Really, really helped me. I remember doing syllogisms for the last 15 days, whatever I gave to AILET, and like two questions came from syllogisms. I got both of them wrong, so yeah, no, no point uh, for me at that point. So yeah, I mean, balance out your time, give a specific amount of hours to CLAT, give a specific amount of hours to edit. No kind of difference in GK for both of the exams, no kind of difference in your preparation for the English section. It's just analytical part, and even maths and even physics, biochemistry, everything now, like from what I saw in the paper. So yeah, for an art student, it was kind of hard to gauge in. Yeah, I mean, I won't say you to do, I won't suggest you to take science in 11, 12. But yeah, if you are preparing for it, it's always a plus point.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, so when you're preparing, I don't think you're preparing specifically for AILET, right? So,
Yeah.
what was it that sort of helped you? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, you also faced, and I think we talked about it in one of our sessions that after reaching a particular stage in your preparation, your scores sort of become stagnant, right? And then you don't really know what to do from
Yeah.
that point onwards to increase that score or to improve in general. So what was that one thing that sort of helped you break that plateau and sort of again start increasing your score?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I asked you this question, you always had a straight answer that was analyzed thoroughly, which I never seem to do, kind of. So yeah, you should analyze your mocks, guys. Please do it. Take hours. Don't analyze it in 15 minutes like me. Although I did it at the end, it kind of did help because now I knew what my areas of strength and weakness was. Although it didn't help in the AILET paper because the paper was completely different from what I envisioned. But please analyze your mocks, give mocks, see where you're going wrong, and take help from your mentors and stuff because that's what helped me in CLAT especially. So yeah, just focus on that. That's what helped me at the end. And the mindset part, it's all a game of mindset, I think. You have to know that you can crack this paper, keep a calm mindset throughout the paper, and it surely works at the end of the day. So yeah, just keep that in your mind.
So like after like now that you have had a great result, I'm pretty sure that you're happy with your preparation in general. But if you were to like think of one thing that you could go back, if you were to go back in time and change about your preparation, what would that thing be? Like just a thought.
Study a bit more for AILET. I guess that would be the only thing I would say to me because I stayed like 15 days, gave like 6 mocks. So if I would have given like more mocks, I don't think that it would make much of a difference considering the pattern change and all. So I guess study a bit more. Yeah, I should have studied a bit more, gave a bit of more mocks. Got my confidence, stuff and have a strategy before the exam, even though it didn't help. So that's the thing. That's like the most important takeaway, right? Like even if I had done like hundreds of mocks, even if I had scored like 100 and 110 in like each and every mock, it wouldn't help me at all during the day of the exam, which happened with a lot of people when they gave the exam. So for something like AILET, if they consider a pattern change at all in every sense of the way, yeah, I mean, you need to be ready for that.
Yeah. But like so in general also for like all the aspirants who are preparing for both these exams, if you were to like if you had to give like subject specific advice in a sense like okay these are the things that you must do sort of these are like the bare minimums, at least the things that were at least essential for you, what would they be?
Oh yeah, for GK, revise one-liners, go through them, see, revise them, go through them once, revise your CLAT notes as well, because there's a lot of chance that it will come from important events, basic events that have been taking place for a matter of months. So revise them thoroughly. And for logical, just I guess do the basic things as you are doing in CLAT, no difference needed. Give some time to analytical, solve a bit of logs, solve some direction questions, solve some blood relation questions. Just keep yourself in the groove. Don't like do a lot of questions a single day and then do nothing like for the next 2 weeks or something. Just focus on that. And in English, just read, and the basic stuff you do for CLAT is kind of enough. And for the surprise factor, which will happen in the AILET exams, just be ready for them. Just be ready for them mentally, and I think that's enough.
And like also so I mean a lot of people do get overwhelmed with the so there are some sections that are shorter and at that and the length is something that you're comfortable with, but for example with logical there are n number of questions and you are not usually able to you're not comfortable with solving such a vast variety of questions at the same time. So what was your like sort of approach to solving the paper in general, if you were to tell in brief?
Yeah, like if you are going with the previous papers or the previous, if you look at the previous papers of AILET, what my strategy initially was, because there will be different question sets for like in logical. There will be some questions for critical reasoning. There will be some questions different for analytical reasoning. So I kind of gave preference to critical reasoning first because I'll be able to solve them at a much faster pace and analytical reasoning at the back. So, but now considering the paper has undergone a change, look for those questions which you're comfortable with first, especially in the passage itself. If you are getting the answer from the passage in the logical questions, go for them, do them as quick as you can, leave the analytical ones. The problem was when I saw the pattern change, I kind of saw that okay, every question is somehow related to the passage, although analytical reasoning is a bit slightly different because you have to apply your normal set of logic and theory to it. But as I was not aware of it, I kind of solved them in one go. But if you are, and if hopefully AILET does go with the same pattern, try to separate between the questions, see what you're comfortable with first, and keep analytical if you are, bad at analytical at the last. If you feel it's a weak section, keep those, blood relations, keep those compass, keep the direction questions at the end, and you will be good to go. You will be in a confident mindset throughout the paper, and you will obviously get more correct.
Yeah. And also like similar to the previous question, like it's very difficult for a lot of aspirants, because when you first see the paper and you see that okay, I have 30 less minutes to solve the same, like a paper of the similar length. So how did you sort of manage to increase the speed, or to read in such a efficient manner that you were able to complete the paper in time? And if there's some tips you want to give about that.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's where mentors really help you, right? That's where you came in and you gave me like, okay, you prepared like this for AILET. You undergone kind of a process in preparing for this particular exam, and that's from where I took, insights from, and that's essential for CLAT aspirants. You need people who are experienced with the paper to give you kind of something to work on in a paper that is as like fast and time based like AILET, you know and that's where it helped me as well, because when you are faced with a time crunch, like you have 30 minutes less, the question amount is same, you have to see okay, how can I attempt the most number of questions and get most of them correct in a reasonable amount of time. You have to formulate your strategy according to that. Give a few mocks, try to give them it a clear mind, different strategies, adopt them. it, because you have probably like an year now, right? So give mocks, see if you attempt English first, see if you attempt like analytical first, critical first. Are you able to save time? Are you not able to save time? Should you give GK first, GK last? Experiment a lot, because you never know what's going to happen the actual day of exam. You need to have a clear set of rules, although they should be flexible at the day of the exam, like it was with me. You should have a certain set of rules, the minimum, the basics covered, and it will give you a kind of a boost ahead of the other aspirants that are giving the exam with you. So keep that in mind. The time crunch is obviously really problematic, as well as the pattern change is, but you have to keep in mind it's the same for everyone. If you want a head start, get it. Talk to your mentors, see what they did, note them down, apply them to a few mocks, see how it's panning out, and yeah, just be in a good mindset. That's it.
Yeah, so I also feel like largely these exams, and especially like cracking how to, how to make the best use of the time that you have. I think a lot of trial and error is involved. And I think, as you also said that, these mocks that you give, a lot of times we have to keep like, making a mix and match of sequences to sort of identify which one suits us best. So what was like your approach in the sense, like were you, how frequently did you like give mocks, like throughout your preparation, not just for AILET but for CLAT also? And like what was your approach to the mocks during the last few days? Because running up to AILET, I think you increase your frequency, but like in general, what was your approach to mocks?
If this question was specifically for AILET mocks, I would avoid it at all costs, because yeah, I started preparing like on November, early November, and it was like just a month prior. I didn't know what to do at all. So I gave like one or two mocks in like 2 to 3 weeks, and it was in the last stretch that I gave like four mocks of AILET like in succession. Total six mocks. So yeah, don't take any advice from me regarding that. But mocks are essential. That's what you need to understand, right? Try to give mocks as early as possible when you get a clear idea of okay, that this is what the paper is, this is how I'm going to approach it. And in clat as well, that's what, like, the most important thing. You need to give mocks to get an idea of how you manage time. It's not about getting the questions right at this point in your preparation. You need to know, how do I get the timing right of certain questions, certain sections. And if you get that cemented, then you are good to go with your preparation, and then you will see your marks increasing at a wonderful pace throughout your journey and stuff. So I mean, yeah, give kind of give mocks, analyze them, because Gargi is really thorough with analyzing. If you are her mentee, she will just, yes, tell you to analyze every second. So analyze them, please, and look where you're going wrong, look where you're going right, stuff like that. Write them, note them down in a diary. Okay, just look through them and you will see your improvement, and it's amazing to see improvement when noted down and stuff. That was the case with me. So this, and the most important thing about mocks is, please don't care about the marks, man. Don't, just don't. The last mock I gave before AILET, I got like 65 to 68 marks. I always used to score 90 plus. That was, that's what, devastated me in every shape and form. And people scored 110, 150 in the same mock. So it was not even a hard mock. I just scored really, really bad. So, but still, at the same time, you cannot get demotivated by mocks, man. Like, some mocks are just designed to, tear up the paper, smash in a few, like, 1,000 pieces, and cry like every night from that. Don't. That's what they are supposed to do, just give hard mocks as well, give easy mocks as well. It's okay, marks doesn't matter at all. And that's something you should learn from me, because the person who did get like what 110 or 120 the same mock, attempted like 75 questions in it, and I got 75 marks. It doesn't, just take a chill pill. Every day you give a mock, take a chill pill, take a day off, watch a movie, and go analyze it with a fresh mind, with friends or without friends.
True. Also, I feel like a lot of times when we sort of, get into this whole, loop of looking at mocks and then sort of judging our preparation in general and our prospects of success in these exams, I feel like it also poses sort of a deterrence to us even attempting the mocks in the first place. Because a lot of times we are sort of scared of attempting them because we are like, oh shit, I'll score bad in this. So we don't even attempt them in the first place. But again, as you already said that, they also, one of the best ways to improve in these exams are mocks, because again, like, you have to get into this pressure zone of exam and then attempt something. So yeah, I think mocks in that sense are really important.
Yeah,
um
absolutely.
in general also, so what are your plans about NLT Delhi now that you scored really well in AILET, and also like a
Well,
background into how you got into law, how did you get interested in general?
yeah, I'm just getting ready for Delhi now, trying to be more like a Delhiite. So, like, no offense to them at all. So, yeah, it's
Mhm.
really taking a toll on me. Yeah, I mean, and if my journey into law is concerned, like, as you can see from my background, I am from like a law background, kind of. My grandfather was a really eminent criminal lawyer, and my uncle as well, from which I take inspiration from every day. I was like, even if I could achieve half of what they have achieved in their life, I'll be, in a good place. And that's why it's important for people to know the reasons why you're pursuing law as a profession in the first place. You should see your benefits, you should see why you should do this, why you should do that, why you are taking it as a profession, and take strength from that, every day. Even if you feel demotivated about a certain mock, just sit back and try to think why you are, giving the paper in the first place. That's what gave me strength every day. So kind of get that implanted in your brain. You are giving it, by giving the paper, you are going to do some good in the world. Get this thing in your brain, and yeah, you are good to go, man. That's like you have won half the battle there only.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like when you sort of reach the moments where you sort of feel down and demotivated throughout your prep or during the exam also, I think these kind of the inspiration sort of also give you motivation to do well, right? Also to
Yeah.
get up the next morning and again give a mock or again start practicing or whatever. So yeah, so I think if you were to summarize your journey in brief, how would you like sort of frame it, like just in brief, because I think we have covered most of the preparation related and strategy related part, but in general also, like as an aspirant, what do you think, like when you look back at it now, what was like one of the highlights of your journey?
Yeah, it's like really hard to say what my highlights were, but it was like a roller coaster. Like when I started preparing, I was like, okay, I can do this, I can do this. Then it went like this constantly, and it kept going down, kept going down, kept going down every day. But eventually, yeah, results did come, and that's what happens in like every preparation, man. Like in every test you're going to give, you are going to have hard days. You are going to have a lot of factors pulling you down every single day, man. And that's just life, that's what happens with every aspirant in general. That's what happened with you as well. That's what happened with like thousands of other aspirants. The only thing that can prove you to be better than them is that you get out of that situation. And that's why inspiration does helps a lot. And that's why it's imperative to be motivated throughout the time. And that's why it's important to talk to your mentors as well, because when I approached you, you said you had similar days as well, which made me feel like, okay, it's normal to feel down after giving a mock. It's not like something, okay, it's only happening to me, I'm not going to do anything right now, like, oh, what am I going to do, stuff like that. Even you said like the last mock you gave before Clat, you scored like 72, which was your lowest score, and that gave me strength. That gave me, okay, I still have a chance. I mean, like, she's in Bangalore now after scoring 70. Like, bro, come on, you can do this now, right? And that's one of the most important things. You have to be like, and you have to stay calm throughout the paper. You have to be okay. Like, things have happened, and that's what, when I gave the paper, you just feel, you see flashbacks from your preparation. Days when you have studied for 12 hours, days when you have studied for like 10 hours, gave mocks every day, studied GK, studied like 300 topics. You are competing with people who have taken drops, who are studying for 2 years, you have studied for 2 months. Stuff like that just happens, hits you like a train after the exam, and you just feel light, you just feel relieved, you just feel like a part of you has improved, a part of you has matured over the time period. And that's, I think, one of the most beautiful things that can happen to a person while preparing for the particular exam. You do grow as a person. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool to like hear you talk about it now, because I've seen you through your panic phases
Yeah,
where you're like, oh yeah, I don't know what to do. So it's really like, I'm glad that you could like, you performed really well. I'm pretty sure a lot of hard work went into it. I have seen a lot of it myself. So congratulations once again. Thank you for uh, giving your tips today, because I'm pretty sure a lot of
yeah,
people
thank
will
you, thank
find
you
them
as well.
helpful, especially people who might think that okay, I don't have time left now, or whenever they feel like that. I'm pretty sure you are an example of, you know, time really doesn't matter. What matters in these exams is the skill that you sort of,
Yeah,
try to acquire over time. So yeah, thank you so much for being here today. Anish, do you wanna say something?
Yeah, yeah. I just want to thank you, Gargi, for producing a top ranker for NLTI. He has talked to me and he like praises you highly and has a lot to say about you, how you mentored him selflessly and
yeah,
all the.
well,
Yeah, you want to say about it live, Brish?
yeah,
I'm pretty
let's
sure
move
most of
ahead,
it
shall
was
we?
his hard work, but
No, no, I mean, come on, like, it's kind of 60-40 something.
Right. Chalo. Okay, Vrish, thank you so much and congratulations again. We hope to connect with you
Yeah,
after your class rank, and I'm sure that it would be great
no
as
problem.
well. Yeah, thank you, Gargi, for taking your time for this session. Thanks a lot. Good night, guys. Bye
good
bye.
night, bye.
Good night.